Good morning, everybody. I didn't fall down the escalators. I fell up the escalators.
Yeah, but both Claude and Steve made me a liar.
I was feeling presidential. So that's all I'll say about that. But yeah, it's we came back early last night, so I'm here this morning. Sorry about that. If you were counting on me not being here. We got Steve Carell back with us this morning. He's going to show us some pictures of some of the stuff he's been working on.
Got Steve Carell back this morning. He's going to show us some pictures of
his YouTube is running.
Yeah.
Not me.
No, not me either. So anyway, Dennis, can you see the chat? You can see the chat. Why don't you tell us who's here?
Okay, let me scroll up to the top.
You can
still read. We got Almar, Digger Evans, Dave, BNSF in scale. Gerald Stewart's here. Steve Wigwag Workshop. JD Grandpa Rails. Michael McCarville's in the house. Mom and son trail rail fanning. Hello, Tammy. Steve, is it Cheryl or Cheryl?
Cheryl.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Rob T-Man. Scott Baker's here. Hello, Scott. DES Media Productions. I feel like I know his first name, but it's escaping me.
Dave.
Hal. It's Hal.
Hal?
I'll tell you. No. That's right.
Dave sounds right to me.
Dave, yeah.
CDP 1965.
Chuck.
That's Chuck, yeah.
Canadian Locomotive Logistics, which is that Darren?
Yeah.
Okay, Jeff Thornton, Steve Childers, Daniel Banks. Apologize if I've missed anyone. Hey, Joe Rader's here. Chris Brew. Did I say Daniel Banks already? If I did, sorry for repeating it. If I didn't, hey, Daniel. John Tanzillo's in the house.
Pennsylvania Northwestern Railway. Good morning.
You're new. Floyd Robbins.
And Floyd Robbins. Yep. I just got to the bottom there. Good morning.
Ooh, good list.
Hey, anyway, we've got a mower man as well.
Steve Arnold is in his bus getting ready to go pick up kids. Take them somewhere and leave them for dead. But Steve, I'll turn it back up. What did you say?
Portland.
Portland. You go, well, that'd be leaving them for dead. You take them to Portland.
Yeah, Future Farmers of America trip today.
There you go. Anyway, yeah, and we got Steve Carell back here. He's going to show us some of the pictures of his layouts and what he's been working on. So, without any further ado, you'll get to it. I'm going to mute you again, Steve. Steve left us. Where'd he go?
I don't know.
Okay, well, anyway.
The other Steve left.
Yeah, show us what you've been working on, Dennis. I know you got something there. Dennis always has something there.
Well, the problem is that I don't have a way of really showing without doing some weird things. I don't know if you can enlarge the screen or not, but that's what I've got going on. None of that's glued together yet. Everything's just kind of
is that a couple
with a little bit of help.
What's the red part?
Do what?
The red part.
So the kit came with this, which is paper.
All right.
And I did not like that at all. I didn't see that there was going to be any way I could ever make that look like brick. So I used Monster Model Works. This is veneer,
That looks
I guess
good.
is what you'd call it. It's glued onto the back of the wood there, and so it's got a lot. It's got a really nice texture to it. And
Yeah, that looks good.
I did some, I guess, testing. And so this is what it looks like. I went with, on this particular thing, I went with full strength Abteilung oils.
Oh yeah.
And just filled it in. This bottom one here, this is dust. And then this, excuse me, yeah. One is dust and one I think is light mud. I think this is the light mud, which I thought was a little too tan.
Yeah,
and
it's much browner than the bottom.
Yeah, once you put it on there, you just take it off and then you keep rubbing it off with just a little bit of mineral spirits. And of course, because it's oils, it's going to leave a little bit of residue on the brick, so it tones down the red. That is the best way I've discovered of getting a good looking brick.
I like it. Looks good.
It looks very good.
That's
those
what
bricks. Who makes those bricks?
This is, it's a Larkspur Models, Monster Model Works. Larkspur Laser Art Monster Model Works. It's like
So
a
it's just
division of something that they do.
Does it come as a big sheet?
Yeah, this, let me see.
That's really nice. Is it wood?
Yeah, it's wood. So here's what I cut this out of, so you can see what it started life as.
So it comes as a pretty decent sized sheet.
Yeah, I think this was a 12 by 8, 12 by 6. Let me see.
Thanks, Wigwam.
Yeah, it's just under 12 by 6, give or take. It's not perfect, but and of course they also make these in, like, I think either 16th or 18th inch wood, which is what I used on one of my other structures up there in Silver Gulch. But yeah, they're a good place to look for scratch building materials.
Well, okay, so the variance in the color on that piece you're holding, like you got some dark brick in there. Now, did you do that, or is that from the wood color on the raw piece?
I would say both. So anytime you airbrush something and you're using very thin paint, this is what you start with. So what's already dark is going to be darker with that thin color of paint on top of it. And then on top of that, if you also, like I concentrated obviously right in through here, I intentionally went a little thicker there, a little lighter here, and then I'm really light there. Some of it's intentional. Some of it's just the way it turns out, right? Just, because you see things in different light when you're airbrushing. I've got different light over there than I've got here. So when you get it back to the workbench and you look at it, you're like, do I like it? Do I need to do something different? So
is that 1/8 inch or 16th inch?
I think this is 16th inch is what. So the kit provided this, right? This is a laser cut piece of wood.
Right. Yeah.
That this was supposed to go over top of.
Gotcha.
I just overlaid this, which is a little bit thicker than the piece of paper. I might have to adjust the trim. I might have to, use some of my own trim when I put it on the model, because it did push the brick out away from what the original should be.
Yeah.
So that stuff's not cheap.
Well, how should I say this? If you want good results in anything you do, you have to be willing to pay the price, both in time and money. So that's the way I look at it. To me, this is going to be well worth whatever cost I put into it to get the results that I want. And this is going to be a feature of the railroad if it works out to where I want it to be.
Yeah.
What happened to Steve?
No, I don't know. He didn't say anything. But the whole model there that you've got, who makes that?
It is American Model Builders, which is now out of business. I got lucky and found this on eBay. This is one of those kits that I think I first saw this kit on Rob Bennett's railroad many years ago. There's Steve. And I just saw it on his railroad and said, that is an awesome kit. I would love to have that kit, but never really had a place where I thought it could go. And then I was searching through eBay the other night. It's probably been 3 weeks ago now. And I saw this, it was being bid on. And I thought, well, you know what? Let me bid on this. If I get it for the right price, I will find a way to put it on the railroad. So that's
yeah.
That's what I did. It's going to go right here, just to my right. I don't know if you can.
Yeah, like that kit. You would never buy that kit, paying the original price for that kit.
Do what?
You would never buy that kit, paying the original price for that kit, and then
I don't remember what the original price is on it. It's been long enough ago that when I looked at it, when you could get it from A&B, I don't remember what the price was.
Yeah, I bet it was $50-$60.
Oh no, it was more than that.
Okay, it's even worse.
But I've done that though. Bought the kit because it was a cool kit and bought it, and then found a place to put it on the layout, or will find a place to put it on there.
That was my rationale, and it still is my rationale. If I can't find a place for it to go, it will become a diorama and go somewhere just because I love the kit. It's one of those.
It's like that Coma Roundhouse. It's like that Coma Roundhouse that I gave you. I always wanted that on there. And I was going to put it side by side with the one I've got on there now, which I'm glad I didn't, because it just wouldn't have fit right. Nothing there would have worked right.
Yeah.
But because it's completely different radius, all that stuff. And then I was going to put it on the top level, and I thought, no, I don't need one up there. So hence you ended up with it. But I love Master Creations kits. They make really good kits. And I thought, I'm going to get that because I got that for a song compared to what it came out. Same thing with the Midland Roundhouse that I do have on the layout. I got both of those at really good price. So I just couldn't pass them up because I knew I wanted something like that on the layout. Yeah. And you see it, you just got to pull the trigger if you really want it. And then you'll find a place to put it if you really, really want it on your layout.
Yeah. Well, let's see what Steve's got going on. Did he send you some pictures, Claude?
Let me look and see if they came in. No, he hasn't sent them yet.
I'm working on them.
Oh, okay.
Oh, he's working on them. Okay.
Michael McCardle's Berkshire Valley has their kits now. I bought one of their kits too. I bought a couple of their kits. American Models. I'm working on that deep kit.
I've got one other A&B, which is the Co-op that I've got up there in the Time Saver, which I think that kit is included in this kit. The one of the warehouses on the back side of this that I haven't even built yet, it's still in sprues. I think it's the exact same model as the Co-op, or at least for the most part, the exact same model of the Co-op up there in the Time Saver.
Yeah.
So what was that kit supposed to be?
It's a mill. It's I don't know what a grain mill. I can't even swear what a mill does. I think they take raw grain in, grind it up, make flour and other things, and then export it out. Is that
Yep.
Yeah, well, for grain, yeah, but you got mills for
Right.
ore, all kinds
Well, I
of
meant
ore stuff.
specifically this mill. I presume that it is a grain mill of some kind.
Yeah.
There's like 2 pages of information on it. I only read like the first paragraph and said I need to start building this thing. So I might eventually read the rest of the information on it.
Well, I think you did the right thing in getting that wood sheet that's brick, because that looks quite
Yeah,
good.
I mean, this is just. I'm sorry. That
Well,
does. If I hadn't had this brick sheeting to put on it, I would have overlaid this with wood strip, just because this brick paper is awful.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, it's kind of like some of the Campbell kits. Their brick that they put in the kit, or did put in the kits when they were making them, was plastic. You know, it was
if it's got
vacuum formed
texture,
plastic.
you can work with it.
Yeah,
But-
and it works pretty well if you get the colors right on it. But the first thing you got to do is spray it with a flat primer of some sort to get it to hold the rest of the paint. Because you try to put paint on that plastic and it just won't stay.
the American Model Builder sheet, that's not brick, it's wood.
Paper.
Wood. No, but it resembles what? Brick or wood?
Brick.
It's brick, yeah.
Oh, it resembles brick. Okay.
But it's all a uniform color.
Uniform color. There's no texture at all. There is some paper out there that's got a little bit of texture that maybe if you sealed it and painted it, you might be able to get a decent looking brick surface out of it. I've never messed with any of it, but I just knew that was never going to be something that I could stand on my layout.
Well, the thing I noticed on that wood, the wooden piece that you painted, was the individual bricks that were darker. And the wood, when you show the raw wood, I'm not sure how they did that, but they've got, unless that's just
laser.
a different layer.
Yeah, they probably
laser, and they made it darker. Some of the bricks are darker, individual bricks, not a section, but just the individual bricks, which looks real.
Burned more.
I'm not entirely sure, but
they call it old brick is on their website.
Yeah, they've got 3 or 4 different varieties. I can't remember which one this is.
Looks
Probably
like old
American something bond or whatever, because there's I think this is like a standard running bond.
Yeah.
Where this, the bricks themselves are different sizes. If you really look at this, some bricks are a little bit longer, they're shorter, some of them are turned sideways in there. Just a really fantastic material to work with. And
some of them are hollowed out too. Yep. Some were, so they must like the hollowed out ones. They tend to be, I'm looking at the website, and they tend to be the darker ones. So they must burn them away,
That could be what they do. Is maybe they randomly set the laser to different intensities as it cuts. I don't know how they do it, but one of the other things that you can do, I didn't really do it too much on this one, but if you leave areas completely out with no
joint,
no oil goop, no grout,
right?
Then you end up with, I think this one right here, I think I went in and dug that out.
Right.
Where you can see I left it in there. You just get all the variants that you need in something that's highly detailed.
So they call it the old brick sheet, is what they call on their website. These are this realistic brick on the market. Yeah, it does look real.
Yeah, it does. It gives it that real small detail look. But you look at an old building in an old downtown part of any city, and you're going to see those different colors of brick.
It looks worn and all, especially when you
Yeah.
start adding things like that arch on the top and all. It's pretty cool
Yeah.
from the website.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because all the late century, 18th century stuff, not 18th century, 1800s to early 1900s stuff was all done like that. It was either brick or rock, but mostly in the cities, it's brick. So it does. It looks really, really good.
Yeah, it sure does. And you're right. I mean, you got to pay the money if you want certain things, right? It's just hard. It's just hard
the way it is.
Just hard to call it up sometimes.
You can answer that, Steve or Dennis?
I don't know. Heath is wanting me to build one for his too. If I start building buildings for people, then I'll not get anything done on my railroad, right?
That is true. That is true. Anyway.
Morning, Jack.
You know, if Dennis had to make buildings, they'd be really expensive. Would you pay for it?
Yeah, they would be expensive, I'm sure.
Yeah, because it would take me this. I'm on my third weekend now on this, I think. Well, I didn't really do much last weekend. It's not my third full weekend. I think, in fact, I don't know that I've had a one full weekend on the kit yet. So it's kind of hard to say how much time I've got in it at the moment. But I've got, for the superstructure, I think these two walls, which is a notch out on the far corner that you can't really see, but I've got these two walls and then this back wall. It's not painted yet. So I've got those three walls to paint. And then, of course,
all these buildings
wall.
in that kit.
Do what?
These are all part of that kit, or
yeah. And then there's an office that goes with it.
Wow,
what?
That's a big kit.
Yeah, it's very detailed. It's got an office that I haven't built yet, and then a warehouse, like I mentioned earlier, that I haven't started on yet.
Yeah, tell him. Put up what Michael said.
Oh, no, that's Daniel. You stopped building for other people since the time it took versus the money was depressing. Yeah, it's a labor of love, Mike. I found that out building model airplanes, plastic model airplanes. I started collecting those, 20-something years ago. And because I was flying air combat online. So I started buying World War II airplanes and building them and making them look like, sorry about that, and looking like the plane they were flying. Friends that I was flying with were flying. So I would send it to them. I didn't charge them anything, not even postage. I just sent them to them, but I built them because I wanted to. I enjoyed doing the building, so that was my payment for it. But
yeah, it's kind of different when you're doing something that you, as a gift, as opposed to getting paid for it, right?
Yeah.
It looks like we lost Steve again. Did you ever get an email from him with pictures?
No, I still haven't gotten anything from him. So there he is.
He's there. He's just hard work putting pictures together.
Yeah.
Well, if nothing else, we can sure turn his camera around and we can look at his ON18 on the desk.
I'm going to send them through Jeff Thornton, my pictures. I'm sending them to him now.
Why to Jeff?
Because I can't get them through to you for some reason. I don't know why.
It may be too big.
Yeah, that could be.
That's a problem with sending pictures and emails. Sometimes they get too big.
Yeah. Well,
the cameras, even on our phones, the cameras make them they're so good that they're really big, and you just can't get them through email because bandwidth isn't good enough.
Let's see if I can get a couple.
So Dennis, I would be interested in knowing the name of that kit when you get a chance. You don't have to do it during the show.
The E. Dabbler Mill and Supply Company. On my railroad, it's going to be the E. Carell Mill
E.
and
Dabbler.
Mines.
That's
E.
a name.
Dabbler. Dabbler.
Yeah, like Yankee Dabbler.
Here's the. Of course, I'm backwards.
Yeah.
One more picture. One more picture.
It's a little pricey, but it's not near as pricey as a Sierra's West model. I'll tell you that.
You're right, Daniel. Eventually, enough people with deep pockets will indeed find you. I found that out when I was building RC airplanes.
Yeah.
The last 3 airplanes I built were all third scale World War I, so they had more than one wing to them. One of them had 3 wings. It was a triplane. Third scale. Yeah, they paid me to do it, but I wouldn't have done it had I not liked building. So, and they paid me pretty well for them, but it does take time to do them, even if you're getting paid for it. Build during a coal tower for them. I told them they couldn't afford it.
Yeah. We need to get Scott on sometime too. Scott's a really good
Scott,
modeler.
was that the Campbell's kit? Because that's the one I built, and I had to do it twice because the first one did not come out like I wanted. The second one came out pretty well, but the first one I messed it up big time. But if it's the Campbell's kit, I understand what you're saying, dude.
Yeah, I've got
an easy
that
kit to build.
that I'm going to build eventually.
Yeah. Well, laser cutting made wooden kits so much easier to build than what they were when Campbell's was putting them out originally. It's kind of the night and day difference between buying a narrow gauge locomotive from Blackstone versus buying one from Japan and then having to paint it and put all your stuff in it that you want in it. Kind of the same thing. Anyway. Oh, so I still haven't been working on anything. I've been battling my back again, and this weekend didn't help that any. But I am moving on. I will be doing an update on my layout here, hopefully this week. Let you know what's going on with that.
Claude, post the email to send the pictures to.
Oh,
Put it in chat. Put it in chat. Yeah, Campbell's kits were a box of sticks.
Yep.
I never built
Which
one.
sometimes the one good thing about it just being a box of sticks is they had like say the cattle pens. I've got plans for cattle pens. I can go buy my own sticks and recreate any of those Campbell kits that came that way. That's another reason maybe why, if you make something really good enough and present the material and the plans to build it, there might not be a reason for somebody to buy, a kit because maybe they got the plans from their buddy, I have no doubt that goes on at a club level where, there's 15 or 20 of us, and I got this Campbell's kit, and all of us can build it off of one kit because that's the way it is.
Steve, I think I put that in there wrong. Should be like that right there. Except not a comma on the .com. It'd be .com, not .com.
Yeah. Comacom instead of .com.
Yeah. Don't use the comma. Anyway.
Most Steve, I gotta pee.
What?
You put that up there so fast and took it down. I hope Jeff got it.
I said, no, it's still there.
Yeah, leave it up there again.
Yeah, it should be .com.
Yeah, .com, not
Oh.
.com.
Gmail@.com, not .com at Gmail. Okay.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
that's a difference.
Standard
Yes, it would.
Gmail email tag.
Okay, so anyway. So where's Steve at now?
I'm
Arnold.
back on track.
Looks to me like he's driving circles.
He probably is.
To the left.
I don't think he really carries anybody. I think he just gets a bus and starts driving.
I just have fun driving.
Oh, there we finally got a right-hand turn.
He likes to stop randomly and put the blinkers on to make people stop.
I'm doing NASCAR.
He stops on the freeway and puts the flashers on, right?
Yeah, probably.
Actually, now I'm taking a break until I go to the high school.
Okay.
Okay.
Biggest advantage of South River.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, fine scale modelers makes nice kits. That coal trestle that I built, fine scale modelers, and it had a lot of stuff in it, a lot of detail castings, white metal castings and stuff. Nice.
Yeah, some of those kits have a lot of castings in them.
Yeah,
You know,
and it's amazing how heavy it gets. I got the package and I thought, what the heck did they send me? A brick or something? Because all the castings were one end of the box, and you pick up the box, and it just wanted to tip up on one end because of all the white metal castings in the end of it. Okay, so what are you working on, Jerry? I saw you posted a picture. You got that picture? You got that picture you can show us? I know you put it on Facebook.
no. It's on the roof thing. I mean, I'm working.
No, just your layout table. I saw you posted. Yeah, you posted a picture on Facebook.
I think that was Wigwag Steve.
Oh, was it?
That
It
Jerry
looked like
commented
Jerry's.
on. Because when I first saw it, I thought, oh
okay.
wow, Jerry's got a lot of buildings built.
Oh no, that was
no. The one I saw was just the overhead and the backdrop and the table. I thought that was Jerry's, but maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe it is. I mean, I don't know.
I have a tendency to look at pictures and not read.
Yeah.
Anyway, how it goes.
Places. I don't. Was it on the Back on Track site?
No, it was on the Back on Track Facebook page. I thought that's where I saw it.
Yeah, it could be.
I'm looking to see if I can find it right now.
Yeah, find it, Steve.
It was all painted white.
Yeah, it's on there.
Let me
One of
see.
Jerry's, but
File, share screen.
anyway,
Listen, what the hell is going on?
Let's back a little.
we wonder that all the time, Steve.
Wow.
All the time. Oh, here they are. I see some pictures.
You got them?
I think.
You should have got 3 pictures, maybe.
Oh, I got more than that.
Oh, cool.
Let's see. How many did I get?
I'll talk about what you have.
I've got 1, 2. He sent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And there's not
8 pictures, 10 pictures.
No picture, Dennis. Just don't waste your time. It's video.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, there were videos. It was probably the thumbnail that Claude saw.
There's one video on there.
Oh, okay.
stuff.
Okay, well, I can show that too, I think.
Yeah, that's just something I did for the kids.
Oh, no, that's not a, that's a picture. Okay, hang on a second. Let me see. I'll show this. This is a picture.
See you, Michael. Have a good night. Hey, good day. Hey, what's up, Dwayne?
Did you get a crap load, Claude?
Crap load.
I got a bunch, yes. Can y'all see that?
No,
You can't see this picture?
no.
Well, that's not good. Oh, that's because I didn't do that. Now can you see it?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, Steve, so you can explain what this is now. This looks, is this in your house?
This is the entrance to my ON30 layout.
Wow.
That's a 32-foot picture right there.
Awesome.
It actually winds back around on itself. There's 12 feet to the left, 12 feet to the right off of here that I don't have a picture of.
Wow. Bill would be proud.
Those mountains look fantastic.
There's
Yeah.
75 turnouts on that railroad.
Oh,
All
Lord.
cool.
How long were you working on that?
I built that in 3 months.
What?
What?
3 months.
And the
3
story behind that is that's a pool house that was completely blank except for a bathroom. And I moved from up on a mountain down there, and I had a 12 by 20 building that had a complete layout in it. And we lifted that building over top of the pool house and hooked it on the back. And so I was operating the railroad that night.
Wow.
So, just out of curiosity, how did you get the rock color? Can you briefly explain that, just out of curiosity?
That's acrylic, really diluted acrylic. And then what I did was afterward, I looked to see, you cannot, very seldom can you get all the cracks with a paintbrush. So what I did was I had a portable paintbrush, battery powered, and so it gave me access to go and spray all the cracks that I saw. So there's only like 3 or 4 colors on that.
Yeah, that's really all it takes.
And so, you know, I built that. It's got 24-inch radius minimum. It's got that's about a 3% grade coming up out of there. So I eliminated as many grades as I could. I think they're layout killers, the grades. They really are. You know, it's hard to see those in real life anyway. And that's just my opinion. And I know that, Dennis, you've got grades on yours.
Yeah.
You get the maximum.
Had to get what I wanted.
Yeah, and that's fine. I would, you know, I didn't want to do that. So
Totally understand.
So this is all. This started out at DCC, and I had a couple years at DCC, and then this was early on in '98, and the programming was just horrible on the DCC system I had, and so I said, well, I'm going to get away and do something better. So I went to battery power.
Okay, see if I can find another one here.
So I've done about 40 battery powered engines so far on my railroad.
Radio controlled, I presume.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people are going to that.
Well, I do the basic.
What do you use for a controller?
Backwards. I was with a group of guys, and I converted them to battery power, and we decided that we did not want sound because of the fact that there was so much sound you couldn't hear the guy talking to you, standing next to you. And we felt that the camaraderie was more important than the sound. So I have some sound engines which I turn on, you know, if I want to for people, but normally I don't run those.
I keep mine turned way down.
Yeah, and that's it. But if you go to, and I'm going to knock on three rail people, they'd put it as loud as they can get it. God, unbelievable. Anyway, but many times I've operated on layouts with sound and come away with a headache afterward. And it's just not my style. So,
so this picture that we're looking at here with the three locos, my first question is that dual gauge track that they're on?
No. I did these three locomotives. There are three different versions of the same locomotive that I created. Carroll Creek Design is putting out 3D models in ON30 and ON18. So all I did was the first one is a Nomi, which is the first one, I lowered the cab down so it's closer to the cylinder, if you could see. And the next one has an ON30 cab on it from a Porter. And the last one has an enclosed cab, overall cab, which kind of makes it into a Class A Climax. If you've ever seen a Class A Climax picture, you don't see these cylinders. And so I just wanted something different. So these are ON18 sitting on ON30 track. They're just sitting on there for the scenic, Billy. That's all.
Okay.
Now,
Gotcha.
Let's go. Whoop. Don't want that one.
I saw Into Infinity.
Yeah, that was kind of scary, wasn't it? Okay, let me find the next one.
So are all of the shells for the locomotives, are those 3D printed, or is there a commercial source to purchase them?
Carroll Creek Designs.
Carroll Creek Designs
is a company that's producing cars in ON30 and ON18 and locomotive shells, okay, and frames. So you mount a Kato 109 drive unit, and so for probably $60 or $70, you have a complete locomotive. It's a basic locomotive that you can detail as much as you want. Now, here is an ON30 micro layout that I made, and this layout is mounted on a Lazy Susan. It's got 10-inch curves. I don't know if you can make out, there's a Y there, but I created a stub switch out of a switch, real easy, I did that with both standard and Pico ON30 track. Real simple to do, and saves you about half the room. And on these little micro layouts, you need all the space you can get.
Okay, let's go to another one here. If I keep track of where I'm at. It doesn't want to come up. Okay, here we go. Bear with me while I get these up here, guys. Why that particular one's being crazy.
Here's one that I made that was small, and this was a Timonium train show. And basically, it is like a time saver, only it is 12 by 21 inches. It's got a sector plate and a turntable made out of a DVD. And so this was one of the ones that there was a gentleman there in a wheelchair, and I asked him if he would come over and sit there just for a picture to show that, we can still
size reference.
We forget about the handicapped people who don't have access to regular height layouts. What do they do? Are we going to forget about them, or do we create something to kind of include them? So my layout at home is handicap accessible, even though it's a little high. so they can come and see it.
Okay, next, let's see. Oh, show all these, won't we? This one, I think, is the next one. Uh-oh, that one didn't come through evidently. It didn't want to come through. Oh, it's a video, that's why, okay. I don't want to go through all that right now. Let's see. Oh, that's the same one you looked duplicate.
We may
Oh,
get
that's the,
we may get some duplicates in here. There's
yeah, that's what we got, some duplicates on
yeah.
it.
I was having next time we'll know what to do
If we're lucky.
if there's a next time.
Let me get on here. There we go. Oh, now there's a small layout.
Yeah, this is made by Ryan Vegas. He is one of the creators of Micro Madness Facebook group, and also one of the designers and printers of the 3D Carroll Creek design business.
Well, that would have to win first prize for the smallest layout.
What is that on? Is it on a bucket?
I'm sorry, this is not. This is from a micro meet in Ohio, I believe. Jeff Thornton would probably know. So we're getting some pictures from that group too. We're getting these we're doing micro meets all over the country now, so that people can get together. I just had one here in January the 18th, where we had 60 people and 30 micro layouts. So, usually they're free, donation or whatever. And people just come and bring a micro layout no matter what stage it's in, as long as you have movement. And of course, for our group, we define micro as anything up to 2 by 4 feet. If you can carry it in, it's a micro layout. That's what we want people to get together and enjoy what you've made, rather than worry about exact how many inches it's going to be. Here's another one from that meet. And I don't know anything about who the creators are of this. As you can see, here's one it's got the trackage. It's not finished, of course, but still, there's plenty to talk about there and share.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Dennis, there a couple of years ago, might have been 3 years ago now, there was a gentleman had I don't remember what scale. I think it was HO, maybe been HON3. It was a mine set up in a 3 by 3.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Dennis remembers seeing that or if he saw that, but I was real impressed with it because it was kind of like on the same venue, very small table, but a full scene, layout scene, and it was really well done.
Dave Meek does a lot of this.
Oh,
now
excellent.
I think his are bigger than this, of course,
Yeah.
total size wise, but this is his concept is kind of the same thing, where we're going to do ON 30, I think, is mostly what he does, and it's just kept to a concise size that can be rolled around or carried.
Yeah.
Well, the good things about this, a lot of us have big home layouts, and we want to just share and take something with us to a meet. Well, these are the perfect things to take.
Yeah.
They're small; they don't take up any room. You can do them fairly fast. It might have 1 or 2 buildings on it, and you build the layout around that. It's usually a continuous run, a circle, which is okay. I mean, it's like Christmas morning all over again, watching it going around.
Oh well, yeah, they're perfect for a train show because that's what people want to see, the trains actually running.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I know when I take to a train show, people are, they want to come over with it. They don't really know what scale it is, or And so they stop and you give you a chance to talk and share what you've done. But what I've found is some of these things that are so extravagant, they kind of turn people off because the beginner will say, I'll never get to that level.
Yeah.
You know, we need to introduce circular track and a couple of beginner plastic buildings that the average guy could go right in the second aisle down there and buy the stuff to build one.
Like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Well, what I was telling Dennis before the show was kind of explaining to him what you do, and I said, all of the first 2 or 3 pages in Lynn Westcott's 101 layouts would lend themselves very well to these to this size of construction because they were all such small layouts, real sharp curves and very small footprint, and so. Just in that book, you'd have, several ideas for a track plan. And, but of course, there again, with the small layout, you don't have a lot of room, but.
Well, I mean, you can do switching and everything with them. I do link and pin. It's a little more difficult, but it can be done. It does slow you down, which, if you work the real railroad, they take time when they hook up and, uncouple. So.
Well, thanks for the pictures. Yeah, like I say, this one right here is the one I was talking about. And of course, if you've ever seen this, I mean, this was a Bible to me when I was a kid. I just would open it up and just drool on them. But a lot of these, so many of these track plans would be great to do
Mm-hmm.
What
in that micro
minimum
size.
Hey, Steve,
Yeah.
what is the minimum radius you can get away with one of these? I guess they're porters. Is that what you call them?
Well, I'm running a 4-inch radius on what I showed you. 4 is, you can go smaller, but what happens is the edges of the cars don't clear each other. And you also have gravity. Gravity will pull to the inside of the rail, the curve rather, and it will come off the track. Realistically, 4 is about the minimum.
4?
Yeah, I would say. I mean, you have no idea how small 4 radius is.
Right.
I was going to say, if you can't get a layout in a 4-inch with a 4-inch radius, then you've got a really small table.
That's kind of what I was thinking is just for fun. Claude's got the Lynn Westcott book. I've got a couple of books, and there's one railroad that's designed to sit in a corner that I've loved my entire life, since I first started looking at, track plans. And I have thought that would be a fun railroad to build. So now I'm wondering in the back of my mind, I think it's an HO scale layout, if I remember right. If you were to build an ON30 layout with the exact same track plan, how condensed could you get it? That would be a fun experiment just to track plan on, just to see what kind of footprint that railroad would be. Because I think it's 4 foot in both directions. I can't remember. It's kind of an L shape with a peninsula, but I think it takes 2, maybe 3 pieces of plywood in the original design.
Well, in your case, something like this would be great for you, a micro layout. I mean, you have a lot of work left to do on your railroad. When you go to a train meet or something like that, you don't really have much to share. But if you made one of these, and I think HO and 3, you can probably get down to a, 10 or 12-inch radius, which is still small enough to get on a 2x4 board. You could probably do something. And if you're running a porter, you could probably go even smaller than that if you had some logging disconnects, things that are not going to hit the edges of. But you
Well, I
got,
was going to ask you too, the one layout we saw that was just the circle with the one tree on it.
yeah.
What kind of setup did he have on the wheels on that, on the trucks on that? Did he have them offset so that it would go around the corner
I don't know.
smoothly?
I don't know the answer to that, Claude, because that was in Ohio and I did not attend that meet.
Oh, okay.
Jeff,
Because it looked to me like even if he had just one truck, like one powered truck, that radius was going to be too tight for four wheels to go around, and if they're lined straight together. Now, I could be wrong. It could go around there very easily, but it just looked like it would be too tight.
that might have only been a 4-inch radius.
Yeah. Oh, I know. It was tiny.
If it's a 4-inch radius, you can go around that, you know. These things can.
Well, look, it looks smaller than that.
Well, I mean,
I don't know.
4 inches pretty small.
Yeah.
I mean, I built a layout for my daughter at Christmas on a cutting board. And in the middle, she has a vertical thing I got from Hobby Lobby with guys skiing down a slope. And a streetcar runs around that. So that's pretty small. That was on a 12-inch cutting board.
Yeah.
So that, you know, you're getting pretty small. But
I wish you guys, Jeff and Steve, would put some videos on your channels about this stuff.
well, I have to make some first. I mean, I showed one earlier, the little layout I have, you know, here. And
Well, he sent me a video. I'd have to download it and get it. We might show it next week.
it's only 13 seconds, and I think that video is actually of a Thomas the Tank Engine that I converted to a children's layout and detailed it out with scenery. And I gave it to some kids. And I battery powered the engine, painted the locomotive and the cars and everything. And I just, you know, wanted to do something a little different for the kids.
Yeah,
But that turned out pretty good.
that's crazy.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Jeff
The
says
Moon Pine.
Was that now, Jeff? Is that the one that I was talking about with the looked like a
Yeah.
trolley car on it?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That was pretty cool to see that. I mean, that's tiny.
Well,
without being Z scale. That's the thing. You know, I've seen a lot of small layouts in Z scale or even N scale, but you get up into, you know, HO and O and you get that small of a circle. That's pretty small.
now ON18, actually, the width of ON18 is the same as HO.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah, but your equipment on there.
HO standard.
HO standard. So we're still talking about gauge, excuse me, we're talking about O scale.
Yeah, smaller gauge.
Scale track, which works out to be 18 inches, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And you can do the same thing with ON30. We run HO track. A lot of guys did not even pull any track up on their HO railroads. The only problems they ran into was the tunnel portals and parallel track clearance.
Yeah.
You know, so when they converted. Now, ON18 was relatively unknown until probably a little over a year ago. And it came about mainly here in the United States because Bachmann, the big supplier of ON30, ceased to produce anything new. They weren't going to do any more ON30. So the supply kind of dried up for equipment. So guys came on the scene with these 3D printers, you know, and as the 3D printers got better, the quality of the models they were producing got better, more detailed, and they were turning out, you know, really quality stuff for very low price. And once they decided that they were going to go on a standard mechanism, which was easily obtained from Cowboy, you know, for like $20, you can get a motor that, if you have the right fitting, can go under anything. I took a Nomi kids toy, if you're familiar with Nomis, and converted and made one to a 040, and that's what's running on the railroad right now, the little railroad on top that you guys looked at.
Mm-hmm.
So you can do things like that. They make a power and they make a platform, a flat platform. So anything you can stick on top, any type of boiler, will work. So.
And where do you get these? Just direct from Cado?
We ordered it, the mechanisms direct from Cado. I get mine off of eBay. Okay. Now, on eBay, you can get 6 of them for like $100. We don't know what the new tariff is going to add to that. They used to do postage paid. All right. But they don't do it anymore. They're adding some postage on there. And we don't, and of course, if there's a tariff, they're going to add that on. So we don't know what that's going to be. But it takes about 2 weeks to get them. They come directly from Japan. And I haven't heard of anybody having any problems receiving it.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be tariffs on Japan, is there?
I
don't know.
We
So we're out of time,
I don't
guys.
expect there to be, but who knows?
Right. But and you could buy one for $20 in that range. The more you buy, of course, the cheaper they get.
Sure.
So if you were to buy one, and some other guys would go in and get 6 in your area, that'd be a way to do it. But I'm kind of as low as $17, and they run. My gosh, they're perfect. They run and run and run. I mean,
well, we're out of time, guys. In fact, we're over time a little bit. But Steve, thanks for coming back on and sharing your pictures and stuff. And Jeff, thank you also for kind of being a go-between and getting them to us.
I would love to have Steve back sometime in the future, and just to kind of maybe focus on the construction of the locomotives themselves and how we control them, because that's a whole nother topic on top of just the railroad itself. I'm very interested in the mechanisms and how you make them all go.
Yeah. So thank you very much for letting me come on, and I will continue to do whatever I can for you.
Yeah. Cool. Well, Steve, when you get a locomotive, when you're building another locomotive, about halfway in the middle of it, there, give us a shout and we'll get you back on. You can show us
and
how that's going.
Throw some pictures up on the Back on Track page on Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're in the chat or listening at a later date, we've got a group on Facebook, and we'd love to see what you're doing.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, you can always, and that goes for anybody. If you've got pictures you want to post, go over to the Facebook page, put them up there. We'd be happy to have them on there. Anyway, we got to get out of here, guys. Thanks again, Steve.
Thank you.
Steve in the bus. He's a Hollywood movie star, isn't he? Jerry and Dennis, thanks for being here. And everybody in chat, have a good week. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Later.
See you.